Hello everybody. Today I'm going to talk about episodes 4 and 5 of Superman and Lois. Let's go. So, unlike my previous reviews I've done for the show, I'm not really going to go through like a walkthrough of the episodes as much. I'm just going to kind of talk about kind of like the six main storylines that were kind of going on in each and just kind of give my overall thoughts on them. And I kind of want to do this a bit quickly so I could get, film it quickly and edit it quickly and get it out more quickly than other videos I've made talking about it. So I'm kind of not going to go too much in detail about things, so it'll be more, more of a quick review, just going through the six things and get my overall thoughts. So with that said, let's start talking about the Superman and Bizarro plotline, and I think this is a really cool plotline. I think it's so interesting seeing an opposite version of Superman, like Superman finding a opposite version of himself. I think that's such a cool idea, and then also how they're tying it into the whole thing with Lois and her sister and Allie and that whole cult kind of situation there. Having Allie kind of, be using her like jewel, gem, whatever it was, to like put people into the Bizarro world, and I guess he's trying to like take over both. I like how they're kind of connecting those two plot lines with Bizarro, and I think it's cool how like I guess we're kind of to a point where Bizarro isn't really evil. Like he's gonna start working with them now to take down Allie because as the end of the 5th episode showed, he's captured and he tells Superman that he's just trying to save his world and this world, his own world that he came from, but also he's like, your world is also in danger. Allie's gonna take it over or something like that. So I guess he's going to help them take her down, which is that's very interesting, because it could have just easily went, oh no, Bizarro evil, just fake being evil. He has to defeat him, but no, like it's cool that like you're kind of showing him as, he's now an ally against Allie. So I think that's a very interesting plot line that I'm excited to see it continue further. But I'll move on, and I touched on this a little bit, but the whole Lois and her sister and Allie and Christy, the reporter who works with Lois, that whole plot line going on. Again, I really like how they're tying it into the whole Bizarro thing where the pendant, I think that's what it was a pendant that she's using is kind of what allowed Bizarro to come through, and he's just kind of showing people the Bizarro world where I guess she has taken over, and I guess she's trying to do the same thing on this Earth. So it's very interesting to see where that's going to go. Obviously, we have Lois' sister as part of this, and it's interesting to see like, I guess. Okay, so I guess she was on Supergirl, and I guess it's the same actress who played her on Supergirl, so I guess that's why that's kind of cool. I haven't seen Supergirl, so it's not that big of a thing for me, but I guess it is kind of interesting to have, a returning character here. And it's going to be interesting to see, like, because she, obviously at this point, is, thinks Allie is right and is trying to get Lois on her side, kind of, but it's going to be interesting to see that, like, now we've kind of found out she's just bad. Allie is flat out bad. How, where that goes with their relationship, with, the relationship between Lois and her sister. That's going to be interesting to see that develop. Also with Lois and Christine, the reporter who works with her, it's interesting to see, like, how they kind of had a bit of, like, a trust issue going on, for a little bit in the 4th episode, and in the 5th episode it kind of got resolved by the end where she got taken by Allie or she went to Allie, but then she got put into the Bizarro world thing, and she realized, okay, yeah, Allie's bad. So now Christy is on Lois' side with everything, and their kind of thing got resolved. But I'm thinking because we have this thing about trust that happened a little bit, I'm predicting Christy's going to find out that Clark is Superman. I think that's going to happen this season. I think a few people are. I feel like Sarah is also, since they're kind of really playing the whole, oh, Jordan is keeping a secret that he's Superman, or that he's, has powers from her. Because they even did that in the 5th episode. They even at Jonathan, when he's talking, be like, oh, says the guy who's keeping a big secret from his girlfriend. Like, I feel like that's going to eventually happen. But speaking of Jonathan, he's now taking XK to strengthen his football abilities, and this is also giving him some powers, some superpowers. I think just that moment where he's getting mad at Jordan and his eyes turn red, like he has laser vision. That was interesting, and of course Jordan is just like, oh, so you have powers now. Like, obviously, since they're Superman's children, it would make sense. Oh, they have powers, so he's not thinking it's a weird thing like he's taking extra kryptonite. He's just thinking, oh, his powers just emerged. That's cool. And it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, and whether or not the powers are strictly connected to the XK, the X-Kryptonite, or if they're more just awakened by it, and if, this is kind of going to lead to him, fully recognizing his powers later on. I don't know. Part of me wants it to just be from the X-Kryptonite, and then maybe it'll be sort of like how in Arrow, Roy had the mirror crew for a little bit, but then he lost the powers. This became regular, Arsenal, just regular the bow and arrow and stuff. Just kind of mini Green Arrow, but a red arrow. And so, and it could be that kind of will happen with Jonathan, where he has powers now, but he'll lose them and just become like Steel 2.0 or something. Especially if John Henry Irons dies this season. Which, also speaking of him, he got injured here. They had this battle at the end of the 4th episode. He got injured. So he was not in the 5th episode. So there's kind of like this idea here for like he's being pulled in and he can't really, he's getting hurt, and Natalie is kind of getting mad at them for pulling him back into this, putting him back in danger. So that's interesting to see where that's going. Like I said in my other reviews, I'm predicting he's going to die this season. Also, kind of connected to the whole Jonathan having powers plotline, Jordan is being trained by his grandfather. This all started when he tried to stop robbery in his friend's store, and he ended up getting caught on the security cameras. And I thought this was going to be like a plotline that was going to happen, like that was going to be like throughout the episode was, oh, they're trying to get the footage back, trying to stop them from seeing the footage. I thought it was going to be like one of those episodes, but it ended up getting resolved pretty much immediately. He just calls his grandfather. He's like, hey, I need you to take care of this. He's like, yeah, just did. And then that leads to, him deciding that he wants to be trained by him, because he kind of tried to help, but he kind of isn't really sure how to really do it just yet, do it well. So he's being trained by his grandfather, and the connection with the whole Jonathan thing is Jonathan ends up kind of getting jealous and ends up taking the X-Kryptonite to kind of heighten his powers and try to, kind of prove he's better than Jordan, so he could kind of fight him and have a better chance of beating him. So I think that's very interesting. And then, just going back to the whole Jonathan for the XK, I think it's going to be interesting to see, where that goes, what happens when inevitably his parents find out, and does he still play up the, oh, they're just my powers emerging thing? How long does that go? And if, Jordan finds out that it's actually XK first, how that all plays out. I'm very excited to see where this is going. And also, Jordan being trained, I'm very excited to see him being trained and, actually being able to get in on the action later on this season. I think that's going to be very interesting, very cool to see. But lastly, I'll talk about some of the Cushing or Cortez family drama. So obviously, Lana's running for mayor, and her opponent isn't that great of a guy, so he's trying to kind of look into her lives and try to pull up some dirt in her past. He finds some. I think he's gonna find some dirt on Sarah with the whole. She tried to commit suicide a few years ago, so she's, they're kind of like, if this comes out, kind of be careful. And so that's kind of creating some issues for them, trying to, worrying about this guy, kind of digging some stuff out from the past to try to, make them look bad. And then we find out that Kyle had an affair with this girl who worked at a bar, and the girl's friend may have told the mayor's campaign about it. So, that's a problem. That could create some issues for Lana running for mayor, and so it's going to be very interesting to see where this goes. Of course, this happens at Sarah's quinceanera, kind of ruining that a bit, it happens right before the father-daughter dance, so she's, not too fond of her father during the father-daughter dance, and she ends up having to storm off. It's just, yeah. And you're like, oh no, why is this happening now? Like, Kyle, you messed up, and you're like, you could tell how sorry he is, and how, just the pain in his eyes throughout the entire thing of, I messed up, and, man, it's gonna be interesting to see where that goes, and if this ends up coming out as a thing against Sarah, or, Lana, and, where this all goes. And yeah, also, as I said before, Cushing or Cortez, because at Sarah's quinceanera, she decided she'll change the last name to Cortez, what it originally was, but then they kind of changed it so they could kind of fit more into American culture. They didn't want to be discriminated against, so they changed it from Cortez to Cushing, but she decided to change it back because it's part of her heritage, it's part of who she is, so she was like, I'm just going to change it back to Cortez, I'm going to take our last name back. So I thought that was a cool thing that had happened. But anyway, I think that's all I wanted to talk about with these last two episodes of Superman and Lois. I think they've been really good. Still really enjoying this show. They're still doing the Jordan and Sarah stuff. They haven't switched over to having Sarah do a weird lesbian thing with Natalie, so I'm excited that has not happened yet. Even at the quinceanera, they're together, they're doing stuff, they're kind of weird, Jordan's being, weirdly, I don't know, he's like, oh, that wasn't the word I was gonna use, or, oh, what kind of adult stuff you do, it's, I don't know, they're going a bit too far with the whole sex stuff, I don't know, it's weird, but yeah, I still like that they're, still going strong with them as a couple, so they haven't, switched over yet, so I'm happy about that. And yeah, overall, still enjoying the show a lot. I think the Bizarro stuff is interesting, how they're connecting it to the whole Lois and her sister and Allie thing is interesting, and I'm very excited to see where all these plot lines are going to go as the season continues. And also I'm predicting that Morgan Edge, Talro, he'll come back into play at some point and help them with Bizarro fight Allie. Anyway though, those are my thoughts on episodes 4 and 5, Superman and Lois. Please comment below yours, and remember to give this video a like, subscribe to the channel, and maybe check out some of my other videos. And with that said, that's a wrap.